What is up if you're holy white? What is up if you're watching this? That means you got another day. And speaking of another day, this wrap is on its last day. So with that said, I'm gonna teach you guys the 5 things I've learned in the 5 years that this wrap has been on this car. I don't know anybody that's kept the design on that long. So if there's anyone that can speak on how to keep a piece of vinyl alive on a car, I'm your guy. Number 1, keep the car out of the sun. Do not park a car outside unless you want to see that vinyl cook and start to flake. Here's what it looks like when it starts to meet the sun. This is the back end of the car. You can see where things are starting to oxidize quite a bit. This is clean, by the way. The colors are fading. It's starting to chip up and flake. This is because of the sun. Dust and things landed on this car when I was parking it outside at work a lot, and then the sun cooked that dust and debris into the vinyl, and even though I was washing it frequently, it wasn't enough to save it. So actually, believe it or not, a lot of this oxidation and the damage to the vinyl occurred in the last year. Now, remember, I've had this wrap on this car for 5 years, and this is just starting to occur. Follow my steps and it won't look like this. Now, if you're like me and you lived in Hollywood and you do not have a garage and you can't afford to keep this thing out of the sun, the next best thing is in the shade. So I actually got like a temporary tent to put this car under for the 3 years that I was in West Hollywood while this wrap was brand new. That did the trick to keep the vinyl alive actually for a long time. After that, I moved to Orange County and it was put in a garage for the last couple years of its life. So for the majority of the time that this car was driving around with this wrap, it was covered at night and during the day, unless I was driving to work, in which case 2 out of 5 of those years, I parked in a parking garage at work. And then the last 2 to 3 years of this vinyl's life, I was parked outside in a parking lot at Ghostworks, and that's actually where most of the damage occurred because it was sitting out getting cooked for the majority of the day, even though I was parking it in the shade at night and had a garage while I was working at Ghostworks. So number 1, keep it out of the sun. Number 2 is a thing called ceramic coating. I cannot emphasize enough how important this is. If you don't know what ceramic coating is, it's basically a thin layer of product that you put on the vehicle, and you can put this on paint or vinyl, and it helps a lot with vinyl. 1, because it kind of brings out the colors, makes the vehicle look a little more rich, and number 2, it's gonna make it easier to clean. So if I were to just spray this car with water and not use any soap or anything, that ceramic coat is gonna let a lot of that water, debris, and things just roll right off the car. It should help it a little bit with the sun as well, but it's just an extra layer of coating that you can put on the vehicle to help keep your vinyl alive, help protect your paint, and help make washing and drying 100 times easier. You should expect to pay anywhere from like $300 to, I want to say on the high side, shooting from the hip, like $700-800 to ceramic coat an entire vehicle. So if you're shopping for this, expect to pay that much. It is a tedious process. The people putting it on have to go and put the chemical on. They have to do it in sections. Once it dries a little bit, I think you like wipe it off. There's like multiple stages to this. You can get this stuff yourself if you want to do it yourself. I know Adams Polishes has some really great ceramic coating that I think has graphene in it. I had some of that on this car before I had it professionally ceramic coated twice in its life in that 5-year span. I think lasts a year or 2 depending on what product you used, how high quality it was, and who put it on. But put ceramic coating on your car, you can never have enough of it. And you can tell you did it right if you put water on the car and the beads just kind of roll off of it. Number 3, and this is the reason why I'm usually late to picking her up on Friday afternoons, is you gotta wash the car weekly. This is something that a lot of you guys are sleeping on. You're not washing your car, you're letting it stay dirty because you don't have a car show coming up or anything like that. Every single week, your vinyl needs to get washed because that dirt and everything sitting on it starts to chew through the vinyl, and especially if you mix it with the sun. So I wash my car every single Friday. I take it to shows on the weekends. Sometimes if I have a show in the middle of the week, I'll even wash it in the middle of the week so to get 2 washes per week. The longest you should ever let your car go without washing it is 2 weeks. That's my rule of thumb. If it reaches 2 weeks, even if there's not a car show, we're washing this thing. And if you wash it, do not go through those drive-through places where it has the big spinny things to go on your car. You're gonna destroy your vinyl. Also, don't go to the spray bays where they have the brush. Don't use the brush on your car. The only place you can go is the drive-throughs that have the pressure washer. You can use that on your car and then hand wash it, or just pressure wash it and dry it. Or if you're at home, make sure you have the bucket system to try to make sure that the water going on your car is clean. Hand wash it only. Never use quick detail. I don't care what marketing scheme they feed you. Quick detail is not for your car. Quick detail is for when your car's already done. If you want to go back over it and polish off some spots, handprints or anything else that didn't make it in the wash, you can get it off with that. But if you use quick detail on your vehicle while it's still dirty, guess what? All that dirt that's sitting on the top of your very fragile vinyl gets mashed into it and it puts little scratches. It's horrible for the car. Take it from me. When this vinyl was brand new, I think like a year old, I did quick detail all over the back end to prep it for a show, and it left scratches everywhere, and it wasn't even that dirty. It was just like a layer of dust on the car. So never use quick detail, and wash your car every single week with soap and water and hand wash only. I know it's a lot of extra homework, but you want your investment to last 5 years, right? Not 1 year. Listen to your boy. Number 4 to keeping your vinyl alive for a long period of time is the products that you use to wash said car, or of course the ceramic coating as well. Make sure that the products are high quality. Don't go into Walmart and buy some bubbles for your car and think that's gonna keep this thing alive. Don't go buy the cheap stuff, get the good stuff. I only let Adams Polishes touch this car. Now this isn't any kind of paid placement. There's lots of different great brands out there. I'm sure you can figure it out. Just don't go buy the cheap stuff. Make sure you go and get proper car wash bubbles with proper pH balances for that vinyl if you want to keep it alive. And some of these products, like Adams Polishes, have products specifically for vinyl or matte detail spray, things that you can use that are going to help this thing out. And again, the quality matters always, so it also matters when it comes to what kind of vinyl you use. So if you go buy a wrap from a wrap shop, make sure that the product vinyl that they're using is a high quality one. I've used both 3M and Avery on my 2 cars. Between the 2 of them, I think I've wrapped them like 5 or 6 times, I don't know. And I've never had issues with 3M or Avery, because you want to make sure when that vinyl comes off, it doesn't damage your paint. You want to make sure when it goes down, it doesn't peel up, bubble, or have any issues. And you want to make sure the color doesn't start to fade in a short period of time. So use high quality vinyl and high quality car cleaning products, and the vinyl is going to look great years after you put it on. Now, the last step, number 5 to keeping your vinyl alive for 5 years straight, and this is probably the most important one, make sure that the shop that's doing the wrap job is really good at doing car wraps. There are a lot of shops out there that are like, oh, we'll wrap your car for like $1,000. Red flag. It should not be $1,000 to properly disassemble all the pieces of your car, wrap them in vinyl, and then put that thing back together. You will pay for this in the long run. Listen to someone that has had this happen. You should expect to pay anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to have your car wrapped properly in a solid color. If you want a pattern like this one that requires a lot of knifeless tape and a lot of extra work, or some kind of custom pattern like my R8 where all the lines and the patterns have to line up from panel to panel, you should expect to pay somewhere between $6,000 and $11,000 for your wrap. I know that sounds like a lot of money. I know there's probably some shop out there that says I can do it for less. Do not go to those shops. They're going to cut corners in some way, literally. They might not disassemble your car. They might just wrap up to the edge and call it a day. That's a shortcut. It's gonna start lifting over time. It's gonna show some seams. It's not gonna be the greatest wrap job. Or 2, they're not gonna use high quality products like we talked about. Or 3, the way that they put it on, they might use adhesive promoters. I've even seen wrap shops sand down your paint to get an abrasive surface for the vinyl to bond onto. I'm not even joking. I've seen it on multiple McLarens. The wrap shop needs to make sure they know how to take apart your car and put it back together. This is where I've run into most of my problems in wrap shops. If they're taking apart your car and they put it back together and they don't put hardware back, or if they don't tighten something down, or if they plug electronics in incorrectly, now you're making trips to a mechanic to try to figure out what's going on because your gas cap won't open. That's happened to me twice. Because your dome lights don't turn on. That's happened to me once. Or your parking sensors are damaged. These things have all happened to me when I've gone to shops that have done it for less. Do not get sticker shock. If a shop tells you you want a pattern like this on your Mustang, it's gonna be $10,000. You get what you pay for. So if you can't afford to do it right, just wait until you can. The wrap shop that's doing this Mustang is Envious Detailing. They did the R8, and this is the first wrap shop that I've been to, other than the one that wrapped this Mustang originally, that had a full disassembly of the car, wrapped it, and put everything back together with 0 issues, and are ceramic coating it, because we want to make sure that we get that ceramic coat on as soon as possible when the vinyl is all fresh and clean, and we can get the ceramic coating on without having to like clay bar, wash, or decontaminate, or do all those extra steps. The shop that did this car originally, which is why part of the reason this wrap lasted 5 years, was Summit Auto, based out in Utah. Those are the same guys that actually wrap all of Stratman's cars. So shout out to Summit Auto for doing this design. I've enjoyed it for years. It was the pinnacle moment of my channel, and now it's time to grow up and graduate from Fortnite. So we're gonna go with a completely different design on the Mustang. I'm excited to share it with you guys. Hopefully that helps, those top 5 reasons to keep your vinyl alive. If you have any questions about vinyl, I'd love to tell you guys literally everything I know. I have been through this. I have made the mistakes. I have spent the money. I am your guy. I'd love to make some recommendations. Just drop a comment. I'll answer all of them, I promise. Unless this video goes viral, in which case, thank you. We will catch you at the next episode with a reveal of what Envious Detailing pulls off. Shout out to these guys for helping me make this dream happen. We'll catch you at the next episode. Peace. I might lie to you just to get through the night with you. Hope that
that's alright. No, you lie to me, it's only right.